Okay, we're moving kind of fast on these, so just pause when you need to catch up. Perimeter test card. So we're going to try to read the story, underline important information, draw pictures to help us model this problem, and then label all the parts that we know. So for this problem, it says a poster is 3 times as long as it is wide. A banner is 5 times as long as it is wide. But both the banner and the poster have a perimeter of 24. We want to find out what's the length and the width of both the poster and the banister. So let's start off by dividing our paper in two. We have a poster model and a banner model. And let's think, the poster is 3 times as long as it is wide, and the banner is 5 times as long. So I know the banner is going to be bigger than the poster. So I'm going to make that picture a little bit bigger. Now, I don't know the actual width or the actual length of either thing, so I'm going to put a W for width. But what I do know is that it's 3 times as long as it is wide, so I know that that means 3 times the width. So on the length side, I'm going to put 3 times the W. I'm going to do the same thing for the banner. I don't know how wide it is, but I know its length is 5 times the width. So once I figure out what the W is, I just have to multiply it by 3 or multiply it by 5 to get the final answer. Okay, so now if you look at your notes sheet, it tells you that if you have the perimeter but you don't have this information about the sides, you can still fill it up by making the perimeter formula. So we know the perimeter of both shapes is 24. So to find perimeter, I know that 24 should equal the length plus the length plus the width plus the width. So I really just need to do some guessing and checking here to find out what would I be able to put in as a length and a width that could add up to 24. So I'm going to start with 1. If I had a width of 1, then I would put a 1 at the W here. So that would be, this side would be 1, this side would be 3, this side would be 3, this side would be 1. If I tried to add those up, that's 6, 7, 8. That is definitely not 24. So I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to go a little higher there. And let me try, what if the width was 2? Alright. So let's say the width is 2. That would be 3 times 2, so that would be 6, 2, and 6. 6 and 6 is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Well, we're getting closer, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. So let's go back. And let's try if the width was 3. So I would put 3 here, and 3 times 3 is 9. So the length would be 9, 9, and the width would be 3 and 3. So 9 and 9 is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So the length is 3 inches. I'm sorry, the width is 3 inches, and the length is 9 inches. So that gave me 9 plus 9 plus 3 plus 3, which equaled 24. Let's do the same thing over here. Let's try to find out what length plus width equals 24. So let's start with 1 again. So if this side is 1, this side is 1, I could put a 1 here. What's 5 times 1? That would be 5. So this would be 5. That's 10, 11, 12. Not enough. So let me erase those. And let's try 2. So if this width is 2, the length is 5 times whatever the width is. So 5 times 2 is 10. This side would be 10. This side would be 2. That's 10, 20, 22, 23, 24. And bingo! So the length is 10 inches of the banner, and the width is 2 inches on the banner. Let's go to part B. It says the projection screen at a school auditorium is 5 times as long and 5 times as wide as the screen in the library. The screen in the library is 4 feet long and has a perimeter of 14 feet. we need to find the perimeter of the screen in the auditorium. Well, we have two screens. We have the auditorium and we have the library. And it says the auditorium screen is 5 times as long and 5 times as wide as the library. So we know the library is the smaller one. We'll make it a smaller rectangle. And we'll make the auditorium a bigger rectangle. And let's just start with the one we know about. We know the library has a screen that's 4 feet long. So let's put 4 feet here. It has a perimeter of 14. So 14 should equal length plus width plus width. That means I could substitute 4 plus 4. Well, let me think. 4 plus 4 plus W has to equal 14. 4 plus 4 is 8. So how many more would these need to add up to get me 14? So let's go 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That would be 6. So both W's need to be 6. If that's the case, then what would each W need to be worth? Well, 6 divided by 2 would be 3. So my W is 3. Okay, so I know that this is labeled feet. So now I have solved the length and the width of the library. Well, I can use that to find out the length and the width of the auditorium because it's 5 times the length of the library and 5 times the width of the library. So I know this has to be 5 times 3, which is how wide the library was, and the length has to be 5 times 4, which is the length of the library. So the width of the auditorium is 15 feet, and the length of the library is 20 feet. And so I could say width equals 15 feet, length equals 20 feet. Part C. Jackson's bedroom has an area of 90 square feet. The area of his bedroom is 9 times that of the closet. So it's 9 times the closet equals the bedroom. The closet is 2 feet wide. What's the length? So we're trying to find the length of the closet. Well, let's draw what we know so far. We know he has a bedroom with an area of 90 square feet. And we know he has a closet. We know the closet is 9 times smaller than this. So what could the area of the closet be? Well, we know that the closet's area times 9 gives me 90. So what times 9 gives me 90? Well, I know 90 divided by 10, or use 90 divided by 10 would be, oops, I'm sorry, I meant 90 divided by 9 equals 10. So the area of the closet is 10 square feet. Or 9 times 10 is 90. Now that I know the square feet of the closet, I can use what I know about the width to find the length. So it says the width of the closet is 2 feet. Now how am I going to find the length? Well, if I know the area, I know the area formula is length times width. So I know 10 is equal to length times, I think I made that look like a plus sign, times 2. Well, what number times 2 can give me 10? Or what is 10 divided by 2? The answer is 5. So 5 feet is the solution. Perimeter task D. Here we go. The length of the rectangle deck is 4 times its width. So we're making a deck. If the deck's perimeter is 30, what's the area? So we're going to find the area of the deck. We know perimeter equals 30. And we know perimeter equals length plus, length plus width plus width. So we got to find the length and the width of this. Well, we don't know how wide it is because it didn't tell us, so let's put a variable. But we know the deck is 4 times as wide as it is long. Or 4 times its width is how long it is. So now, this is one of those situations where I need to guess and check. So let's try 1 times 1. let's try 1 as the width. So 4 times 1 would be 4. 1 and 4. So 4 plus 4 is 8, 9, 10. That's not big enough. So let's try a little bit larger values. What would we say if the width was 2? We put a 2 in for the width here. That means this side would be 8, this side would be 8, this would be 2. 8 and 8 is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Ooh, we're getting closer. We need to get to 30 though. So let's try a width of 3. If I put a 3 in for the width here, the length of this side would be 12. This side would be 12, this side would be 3. 12 and 12 is 24. So 12 plus 12 plus 3 plus 3. That's 24. That's 6. 24 plus 6 is in fact 30. So now I know the sides and the length and the width. So to find the area, I need to multiply length times width, which means I have to multiply 12 times 3. Well, I could skip count by 12, or I could add 12 3 times, since you haven't learned multiplication yet. 2, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3. So the area equals 36 square feet. Make sure you label it. Alright, here we go. Task card E. David has a tent that is 5 feet wide. Alright. And it says the length is twice the width. So 2 times W would be the length. Well, we know the width is 5, so 2 times 5 would make it 10 feet wide. He has an air mattress that's a rectangle that is 3 by 6. So it's 3 feet by 6 feet. And he wants to put that in the tent. We want to know how much space does it cover on the floor. Well, that's area. We want to know what area does it cover. So let's find out how much area the tent has. Area equals length times width. So 5 times 10 is 50 square feet. And what would be the area that the air mattress would take out cover? 3 times 6, which is 18 square feet. Well, if we had 50 and it was covered by 18, what would be left over? That means we have to subtract. And that gives us 32 square feet. Okay, next problem. Katie cut out a piece of wrapping paper that was 2 times as long and 3 times as wide as the box she was wrapping. So we know that the paper is bigger than the box. The box was 5 inches long and 4 inches wide. So 5 inches long, 4 inches wide. What's the perimeter of the paper? So we want to find the perimeter over here. So here's her paper. It's 2 times as long. Well, if it was 5 inches long, 2 times 5 equals 10 inches. The width of the box it's 3 times as wide as the box, so 4 times 3 would be 12. So we know that this is 10 by 12 by 10. Oops, I made a mistake there. Let me erase those. Getting a little bit confused. So this side is 10 and this side is 12. Let's see, it says we need to figure out the perimeter. So we have to add them up. 10 and 10 is 20, and 12 and 12 is 24. So 20 plus 24 equals 44 inches. Okay, I'm probably going to run out of time on the last problem, but the black paper is 4 centimeters wide. The length is twice as long, so 4 times 2 is 8. The gray paper is 3 by 7. We want to know how much is this space that's showing. Well, this is 21, and the page underneath, if I had a full size of the black, is 4 times 8, which is 32 square feet, centimeters. 32 square centimeters, and it's being covered up by 21. So 32 minus 21 would be 11 square centimeters. That's how much of the black paper is still showing.